Hello, I'm Calvin Osborne, a 1985 graduate of Jewell College. I bring you greetings from the ceremonial room in City Hall, the John Wilson Building in downtown Washington, D.C., where Muriel Bowser is the mayor. This room is the ceremonial room where many foreign dignitaries have spoken. People come to Washington, D.C. on many occasions to address their problems, and I'm really happy that we've been able to use this room. I'd first like to thank the Jewell College Alumni Association, the administration, faculty, and staff for selecting me to this wonderful honor. I also congratulate my fellow honorees this year. I'm humbled by your choice of this award because I never expected to receive such an honor. When my friends and I gathered to determine where we would attend college, I made it very clear to them that I did not want to attend a college in a small town, and I did not want to attend a college that was religiously affiliated. But after looking at all of my real options in integrating basketball and my opportunity to go to law school, Jewell College came up high on my list. And so I arrived in Liberty in the summer of 1983 to prepare for basketball, anxiously awaiting the arrival of my fellow students the following September. But within the first couple of weeks of school, I saw something that jarred me. I saw men riding horses in front of my dorm at Eden Hall, carrying Confederate battle flags and torches. Now, I had an immediate and visceral reaction to this strange event that seemed to me to be straight from the 19th century. And so with my emotions running wild, I asked everyone in sight what they thought of this, but no one else seemed to be bothered or to care. I had to make a decision right then and there about whether I was going to ignore it as well or address it in some way. I felt crushed. I felt small. I felt insignificant. I could not believe that what I was seeing was happening in my college, the one that I paid for to attend. But a few days later, I noticed the administration and the faculty were wearing tiny little red buttons on their lapels that read, "We care." I knew from that moment I had to find out what "we care" actually meant. What do you mean by "we care"? Who do you care about? What do you care about? Certainly it was not the 26 African-American students who attended that campus. Those of us who walked around our campus every day trying to become educated, trying to fulfill the dreams that our parents had for us, most of us first-generation college students, like myself. I had to determine if I wanted to be a catalyst to force that change by challenging the other students, the administration, and faculty to address this situation. I wrote articles to the newspaper. I met with administrators to lay out my grievances and tell them how this flag made me feel on my college. Other students and the fraternity involved fought back, claiming their rights to free expression. Student body leaders like Michael Smith were supportive. Faculty members like Dr. Edgar Chastain, whose race relation class and teachings were salve to my wounds. I thank Dr. Chastain because he made me look for the humanity in every single person that I met. I thank them now, just as I did then, for their support. But the best support came to me like a voice in the wilderness from an articulate, bright fellow student named Vernon P. Howard, Jr. We challenged each other's logical thinking and courage. We became lifelong friends. Since then, as a minister, Dr. Howard has eulogized several of my family members. When the decision came down from the Dean of Students, a wonderful man by the name of Gary Phelps, to remove the flag from our campus, we knew we had won that battle against the Confederate flag. But more importantly, our college won. Our college won that battle because they moved in the right direction. I learned a lot through that process about using my passions to serve others. It gave me a sense of purpose and clarity about what I wanted to do with my life. The scripture tells us that he among us who is the strongest shall serve all the rest. I don't know if I'm strong, but I have tried to serve. I once met Nobel Peace Prize winner Archbishop Desmond Tutu, and one of his sayings has been, do a little bit of good where you are. It's those little bits of good that overwhelm the world. And so I've carried medicine in the Australian outback. I've used my own resources to fly hundreds of backpacks to kids who are homeless coming out of the Katrina hurricanes in New Orleans. I've served meals to hungry people who were caught and lost in the favelas of Rio de Janeiro. And I've read books to illiterate children in the shanty towns of Soweto, South Africa. But I have also sat in meetings in the Oval Office, and I've also observed the creation of a new constitution for the country of South Africa in the office of President Nelson Mandela. I don't know what Jewell is like now, but it's my hope that eradicating that barrier, that tiny barrier, and serving on student council was my little bit of good adding up at William Jewell. In the past few years, states such as South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and even Mississippi have decided not to fly that flag anymore. Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, right here in Washington, D.C., just recently made that decision to take the Confederate flag out of the United States House of Representatives. So just think, William Jewell College was 37 years ahead of all of these states and the United States Congress. Since I left the Hill in Liberty, I've taken a few additional titles such as attorney, senior counsel, associate director, lobbyist, and founding president of Potomac Realty Company. I'm currently in the process of redeveloping a 90-unit multifamily complex that will be nearly 100% affordable housing, trying to do my part to address America's housing shortage, something that I care deeply about. But the greatest title that I've ever achieved is that of husband and father. Dr. Howard officiated my wedding to the most beautiful space engineer God ever created, my wife, Tracy Osborne. I thank her and our daughters, Clark Osborne, who is a senior at North Carolina A&T State University in Greensboro, North Carolina, and my daughter, Raina Osborne, who is a sophomore at Virginia Commonwealth studying forensic chemistry. My work now is on another hill here in Washington, D.C., trying to preserve federal land, clean water, clean air, and trying to make D.C. the 51st state, because there are still 712,000 people who live here but have no vote in Congress. So finally, I'll leave you with this. 2 years ago, I was elected president of my Civil War reenacting group called the 54th Massachusetts Civil War Reenactors. I've been with them now for 30 years. We made the movie Glory with Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, and Matthew Broderick. Just this past summer, a news network, CNN, came to my home in D.C. to tell me something that I did not know about my own ancestry. They told me that my great-great-grandfather, a man named William Lacey, was a runaway slave who made his way to Kansas, the Free State, and decided to fight with the 1st Kansas Colored Troop against that very battle flag, the Confederate flag, in a place called Island Mound in Bates County, Missouri. You see, unbeknownst to me, fighting against that flag and the oppression that it represents is something that's been in my blood for generations. I just never knew it until now. So what I now know in my heart is that even though I did not want to be in that small town or at a religious college, God had his own plan for me. It was the best thing for me. I woke up my study skills and I brushed off my courage in that little town called Liberty. You see, it was the spirit of William Jewell himself, the old medical doctor turned preacher turned politician, that permeated that dorm at Eden Hall. I may not have wanted William Jewell, but it's clear that William Jewell wanted me. Thank you.